In the ageless expanse before time itself, there was only Nu, the boundless, silent ocean of chaos. In the ageless expanse before time itself, there was only Nu, the boundless, silent ocean of chaos. From these primordial waters, a thought stirred, a consciousness that willed itself into existence. This was the birth of Adam, the first god, who emerged from the watery abyss upon a lone mound of earth, the Bendon Stone. In his solitude, Adam felt a profound loneliness, a yearning for connection in the vast empty dark. And so, with a breath, he brought forth Shu, the god of air, and, with a whispered word, Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. They were the first twins, the embodiment of life's essential elements. Together, they danced across the void, filling it with wind and rain, but one day they wandered too far and were lost in the infinite darkness of Nu. Atum, now a father filled with sorrow, waited in silence. He plucked out his own divine eye, a radiant orb of light, and sent it forth to find his lost children. The eye, which would later become the goddess Hathor, scoured the abyss, its light a beacon of unwavering love. When it finally returned, leading Shu and Tefnut safely home, Adam's joy was so immense that his tears fell upon the fertile earth of the Bendon Stone. From these tears of divine relief, the first humans were born, fragile yet filled with the spark of their Creator. Shu and Tefnut, united in love, gave birth to their own children, Geb, the god of the earth, and Nut, the goddess of the sky. Their love was so powerful that they were locked in an eternal embrace, leaving no space between them for life to flourish. Adam, now a grandfather, saw that this inseparable love, while beautiful, was stifling creation. He commanded their father Shu, the god of air, to perform a difficult but necessary act. Shu gently but firmly pushed them apart, raising Nut high above to form the star-studded canopy of the heavens, while Geb remained below as the solid ground upon which all life would stand. Nut's belly was already swollen with children, but Ra, who now ruled as the sun god, had decreed that she could not give birth on any day of the year. In her despair, she turned to Thoth, the god of wisdom and magic. Thoth, clever and compassionate, devised a plan. He challenged the moon god Khonsu to a game of senate, wagering for a fraction of the moon's light. Thoth won again and again, gathering enough moonlight to create 5 new days, separate from the 360 days of Ra's calendar. In these 5 epigomenal days, Nut was free to give birth. On the first day, she bore Osiris, a wise and noble king destined to rule. On the second, Horus the elder. On the third, Set, the god of chaos, and storms who tore himself violently from his mother's womb, a sign of the turmoil he would bring. On the fourth, the gentle goddess Isis, who would become Osiris's devoted queen. And on the fifth, Nephthys, who would become Set's reluctant wife. Thus, the divine family was complete, and the stage was set for the eternal drama of order and chaos. Osiris, with Isis by his side, brought civilization to humanity. He taught them agriculture, law, and the art of worship. His reign was a golden age of peace and prosperity. The people loved him, for he was a just and benevolent ruler. But his brother, Set, watched from the shadows, his heart consumed by a bitter jealousy. He saw Osiris's perfection as a personal affront, a constant reminder of his own chaotic nature. Set's envy festered, growing into a dark and murderous plot. He secretly measured Osiris's body and commissioned a magnificent chest, an ornate sarcophagus decorated with gold and jewels, built to his brother's exact dimensions. He then hosted a grand feast for the gods, and at its peak he unveiled the chest, announcing that it would be a gift for whoever fit inside it perfectly. One by one, the gods tried, but none could fit. Then Osiris, unsuspecting and good-natured, lay down inside the chest. The moment he was inside, Set and his co-conspirators slammed the lid shut, sealing it with molten lead. They carried the chest to the Nile and cast it into the river, sending the rightful king to his watery grave. Isis, her heart shattered, refused to despair. Her love for Osiris was a force stronger than death itself. She cut her hair in mourning and set out on a desperate search for her husband. She traveled across the land, questioning everyone she met, following the path of the river until she learned that the chest had washed ashore in the distant land of Byblus. There, a magnificent tamarisk tree had grown around it, encasing the sarcophagus within its trunk. The king of Byblus, awed by the tree's majesty, had it cut down and made into a pillar for his palace, unaware of the divine secret it held. Isis journeyed to Byblus and, through her wisdom and magic, became a trusted nurse to the queen's son. She revealed her true identity and her sorrowful quest, and the queen, moved by her grief, gave her the pillar. Isis carefully cut away the wood and finally recovered the chest containing her beloved. She returned to Egypt, hiding the body in the papyrus swamps of the Nile Delta, intending to perform the sacred rites that would bring him back to life. But Set, while hunting in the moonlight, discovered the hidden chest. In a fit of rage, he tore his brother's body into 14 pieces and scattered them across the length and breadth of Egypt, ensuring Osiris could never be made whole again. This act was the ultimate desecration, a triumph of chaos over order. Yet it only deepened Isis's resolve. Joined by her sister Nephthys, who had abandoned the cruel Set, Isis began a second, even more arduous quest. They searched every corner of the land, recovering each piece of Osiris's body. With the help of Anubis, the god of embalming, and Thoth, the god of magic, they meticulously reassembled the body. Isis, transforming into a kite, used her powerful wings to breathe life back into her husband. It was a fleeting revival, but it was enough. In that magical moment, she conceived their son, Horus, who was destined to avenge his father and reclaim the throne. Osiris, now restored but unable to remain in the world of the living, descended to the underworld to become its just and merciful king, the judge of the dead. He had been a king on earth, and now he was a king in the afterlife, a symbol of resurrection and eternal life. Isis hid her son, Horus, in the marshes, protecting him from the wrath of Set. She raised him in secret, nurturing him, telling him the story of his father's noble life and tragic death. When Horus came of age, he emerged, filled with righteous fury and a divine mandate. He challenged Set for the throne of Egypt, and a series of epic battles ensued, shaking the heavens and the earth. The gods themselves were divided, watching as order and chaos clashed for supremacy. In their final, decisive confrontation, Horus lost an eye, but he ultimately subdued Set. The tribunal of the gods, led by Adam and Thoth, declared Horus the rightful heir. Set was not destroyed, but was instead banished to the desert, his chaotic power now serving to protect the borders of Egypt from foreign invaders. Horus's lost eye, magically restored by Thoth, became the Wadjet Eye, a powerful symbol of healing, protection, and restoration. Horus took his place as the rightful king of a united Egypt, ushering in a new era of Matav truth, balance, and divine order. The cycle was complete. From the lone creator in the chaotic waters, a lineage of gods had established a world where light triumphed over darkness, where love could conquer death, and where even the most fragmented soul could be made whole again. This ancient story, echoing through millennia, is not just a tale of gods and monsters. It is our story. It is the story of the human spirit, born from tears of divine joy, forever navigating the embrace of earth and sky. We all face our own inner set, the voice of envy, chaos, and despair. We all experience loss, our hearts broken and scattered like the body of Osiris. But within us also lies the unwavering love of Isis, the determination to seek out the lost pieces of ourselves and put them back together. And within us is the courage of Horus, the strength to rise from our hiding places, confront our demons, and reclaim our inner throne. The kingdom of Osiris is the promise that death is not an end, but a transition. The victory of Horus is the promise that order can be restored, that balance can be found, and that light, no matter how fiercely challenged, will always find its way back. For in every one of us, there is a fallen king waiting to be reborn, and a rightful heir ready to rule.